Hi, everyone. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the difference between web pages and websites. And then I'm going to show you how to turn your web page into a website by using hyperlinks. So, as I mentioned, many people don't know the difference between a web page and a website. So, a web page is nothing more than, coded HTML, and a website is multiple HTML web pages linked together. So, on this particular page you're looking at on code.org, this is a website because we're easily able to click between the different links that take us to the different pages on code.org. So the code that is going to enable us to do this is the letter A, and that's our code. We're just going to use the A tag. So I'm going to continue here and let's look at an example of this. Okay, so we are being taken to a multi-page website here, and the page is called All the Lists. So on this page, we have links to some different sites here or some different pages here on our website. So we're able to click on the link over here, which will take us to the scotcheroos recipe. Now notice there's no link to get back to our main page, which is called index.html. So we just have to click on it in the files over here. And then if you click on the other links, we are able to get to the other page and go back to home. So let's take a look at the code here. On our index.html page, if you look at lines 6 through 8, we can see the code that enables these lists or these links here to create a navigation bar at the top of our page. So as I mentioned, the tag we use is called the A tag. But notice there's what we call an attribute in there, the href attribute, or as I sometimes refer to it as href. And this looks a little bit like an image tag, right? But it's different. It has the equal sign. And what we want to do is put the file name inside quotation marks. All right, so that's kind of the same as an image. But what's different is now we have a closing tag. Image tags don't use closing tags, but link tags do. So what we put inside the tags is the text that we want to display on the page, what we actually want the user of the web page to click on. So in this case, it's Scotcheroos recipe, how to juggle, fun facts about candy. So that is the particular syntax that we use. Now, if you look at the instructions on the page, it says to, click on the recipe.html file, which does not have a link on there, which will take us back to the index file. So let's see what the other pages did. So the juggle.html page has a link to go back to home. And so does the candy page, a link to go back to home right at the top of the page. So what I'm going to do to make life easier, coding, sometimes we need to take shortcuts because there's a lot to do. I'm going to copy this. Now, if you're working on a laptop, you're going to highlight this and you're going to press either Command if you're on a Mac or Control-C if you're on a PC. Or if you're on an iPad, you can just highlight the text and click copy. But I'm going to copy this entire line on line 6 on the candy page. And then I'm going to go over to the recipe page and I'm going to make sure that I'm in the body section, okay, because we don't want to be up in the head section because that information is not for the main content of the web page. And I'm going to paste that code. So if you're on an iPad, you click paste, or if you're on a PC or a Mac, you press either Command or Control V. And that's just going to, insert that link there so we can now get between all the different pages on this website, which is the goal of a navigation bar and a multi-page site. So I'm going to press finish. And when we press finish, it's actually going to take us to your personal website, or the page that will become your personal website. And what we're going to do is we're going to start the process of your website here, and by creating a navigation bar at the top of the page. But before we do that, we need to add more files over here. So I'm just going to click on this Add HTML button. And if you notice here, it adds a new file over in our file area called new-1.html. I'm going to right-click on this to rename it, and I'm going to name it Recipes, because that is the name of the hobby that I'm choosing to focus on my personal website. So you can, you can name it Hobby. In fact, why don't you name it Hobby? Hobby.html. Sorry, I'm jumping around here a little bit. So everyone should name it hobby.html. Now what we're going to do is we are going to create a link on our index page to get to the hobby.html page, and then we're going to click on a link to get back to the index page. But before we do that, let's just kind of, type some content here with a p tag, so we kind of know which one's which, since it's currently blank. So I'm going to type in a p tag. This is the main page, and I'm just kind of putting that, on there so I know. All right. And then on my hobby page, inside the body tags, I'm putting another p tag, and this is the hobby page. Okay. So now I can easily see over there, there's no confusion, etc. So I'm going to go back to my index page by clicking on it over in my files here. And then I'm going to go underneath my body tag there. So skip on to line 6. And now I'm going to type my code to insert a hyperlink to the hobby page. So I'm going to start with my opening tag, ahref equals, okay, and this is where, code.org is very helpful. It has a list of our HTML files over there. So of course I'm going to pick hobby, since I'm on the index page and I want to link to the hobby. And then I'm going to close this. All right. And I'm going to type the text that I want to show on my main page to get me to my hobby page. So I'm going to, you can put hobby page, you can put the name of your hobby page if you want to put recipes or whatever hobby you're focusing on. I'm just going to put hobby page for now. And then don't forget that closing a tag. Okay, so then once you do that correctly, you'll have a blue link which you can now click on to get to your hobby page. But now the problem is we can't get back to our main page from our hobby page. So we're going to do the same thing on our hobby page. So put your cursor next to the body tag on line 6, press enter, and I'm again going to type that ahref equals sign. This time I'm going to choose index, close it, and I'm going to type back to home page. And you guys can type, anything that makes sense as long as it gets back to home. You can put back to home, back to the main page. As long as we are easily able to click back and forth between our hobby page and our main page, that is the goal of this level, is to create a navigation bar where we're easily able to click back and forth from the main page to the hobby page. So on your screenshot that's due for this level, I need to see your name up here. I also need to see that you have 2 files over here, and just screenshot one of the screens where I can at least see your code that you've correctly linked to one of those pages. If you have any questions about this level, please feel free to contact me through Canvas or email. Remember, you can always go back and watch this video and stop and start at different points of the video to help you where you need to spend more time. So at this point, guys, enjoy, starting to make your personal website. Talk to you guys later. Bye.